Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am here with you in honor of the poetry open mic that I would normally go to on the first Wednesdays of every month. It is community poetry at, I was about to say at Recycled Reads. That's the venue that I used to be at Half Price Books, which is North Austin. Tom is not able to run that because things are still in quarantine mode. Sniff, sniff. But I would always come and I would always read something from brand new recent Scars Publications book releases during that time. And I am utilizing this time in honor of that space to share with you poetry from books, including this cc&d September-December 2020 issue collection book anthology that's titled Roll the Bones. Roll the bones. I know that bones don't mean skulls, but I had to give it up for this. Well, it's not giving it up, but I had to pay homage to this Rwandan genocide memorial, which had all of these skulls on display and all of these bones all over the place, just to remind people of what suffering and what brutality existed at this one location. So I had to have it. And any shot that's going to have a spear going into a skull, it's got to like earn points to somebody on some demented level somewhere, I guess. I don't know. Anywho, I thought I'd share with you a couple of poems from one of the sections inside of this, and I hope you enjoy them. And let's see what we can find here for poetry for you guys. This is a poem that is titled Eternal Salvation in Hieroglyphics. And it was written on November 4th, which was the day, they call it King Tut Day, but it was the day that his tomb was actually discovered, unearthed in 1922. So, this is a piece called Eternal Salvation in Hieroglyphics. In their desire to live forever, their ancient Egyptian tombs were preciously decorated with instructions to battle obstacles after shedding their mortal coil before they'd have eternal life. Gemstone amulets protected their mummified corpses, unless raiders came to rob their tombs and destroy eternal salvation. So it is a miracle when more than pottery shards are found thousands of years later, because all humankind has their beliefs, their traditions to protect them from what they don't understand. So one king in one unlooted tomb found only 100 years ago reveals so much about their culture, about future cultures, and even our own culture. For it shows us how we cope with fears, but also how we fight them, so we can then think we can have what we could never attain. Eternal Salvation in Hieroglyphics is one of the poems that is within this book, Roll the Bones, from cc&d magazine. This piece is titled Up for the Challenge. It was written on the 15th of November and is for I Love to Write Day. I Love to Write Day. This piece is called Up for the Challenge. Stephen King's Carrie horror story was rejected 30 times. 30. People don't write to strike it rich. It doesn't work like that. People write because it's in their blood. They have a story to tell, and they don't know how to share it unless they write it down. In this modern era, people care and they stare at their 3-inch screens to live. And people in this modern world now need to be challenged. So if writing is the best way to truly express yourself, then even for just one day, see if you're up for the challenge. Oh, this is fun. There's just a little one right here at the bottom of this page, like 3 lines long. I'm going to share it with you. And people who know me will know what this means, but then they won't. This piece is called 11 Days. They tell me I was in a coma for 11 days. You never asked me what I dreamed of then. And I'll never tell you. This next one, I believe I'd have to check if I've read them before, because there are sections from different parts on different books, and I would like to be able to share this next poem with you, but I think I might have shared from it already. And I would like to confirm if I can share this piece with you, this next piece that's on this thing. I don't know if I should be sharing a poem titled Vanity Plates Saying No War. So I'm going to have to check the list and see if it's ever been read from this book before. Because I know I've shared it with people from magazine issues. However, I don't know if I ever read it from this book. So I'm waiting for it to update. Aha. For my readings, let's see what we've got. I'd like to be able to share this poem with you, but I want to know if I should. Up for the channel's 11 days. Aha. I don't read those. See, I needed to know this. Good thing I could check this stuff out. All right, then I've got 3 poems I'm going to share with you. And this next one, I'm skipping a couple poems ahead here to be able to share these poems with you. This is titled Quenched Bloodlust, and it was written on the 20th of November, which was for the 1945 day that the Nuremberg trials began. Yep, you're getting a bit of history at the same time. This is called Quenched Bloodlust. We have to treat this with respect. After the atrocities we have witnessed, after the slaughter of innocent millions, after they treated the countless masses as less than human, we must act humane. We know our bloodlust for revenge is not easily quenched, but when we see what these megalomaniacal morons did, the only way we can justify our hatred is to spell out why they are so wrong. I was only following orders, they cry, they chant like they're preparing for that mob mentality, because it seems that whenever people succumb to a mob, they do whatever they want and believe that they are not then to blame. They're just following orders. But ask them point blank, and they'll swear they're blameless. How can you blame them when they're swelled with emotions from swept up front of furor? So let us bring the details to their attention. Let's spell everything out for them, and let's show them their signatures on forms condoning this mass genocide. They can keep sunglasses on, but they have to see what they have done. In time, maybe they will realize the error of their ways, or maybe they'll prefer killing themselves to giving us the chance to fill our own bloodlust until we can let our hatred die. Which is true, because the hatred doesn't go away for many, many, many people, as well as religions, but I won't talk about it anymore. And go on to the next poem, which is entirely unrelated to that, and it's actually written on the 27th of November, and it was for the day that Alfred Nobel's 1895 signature was put on his last will and testament to create the Nobel Prize. You don't know anything about Alfred Nobel, who did. Well, you might find out. This is a poem about him and that day, and this is titled Only Certain People. Only certain people in history accomplish things that make a sudden change in the history of the world. Scientists' discoveries positively alter how we view the world. Chemists, under government orders, even make the atom bomb. Then again, there are some who just make business. They were just businessmen making dynamite who read their premature obituary one day that condemned their profiteering from the sales of arms. So, Alfred Nobel decided then and there to bequeath his fortune to the Nobel Prize, giving awards to people for doing good and not destroying. When his will was read, his family protested. They wanted his money for themselves, but eventually they lost their 5-year fight that stopped prize awards from prize winners, awarders from abiding by Nobel's wishes. So, because someone published premature obituary blaspheming a man for not doing good with his life, it changed him. It changed him enough to make sure any profits from his past destructive ways would only be used in the future to highlight good. What a beautiful sentiment when someone learns the error of their ways and final actions make their final legacy endless good instead. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am passing through pieces, and I'm going to end with one more poem from this section, this What's He Trying to Paint section of the cc&d September to December 2020 issue anthology, Roll the Bones. I'm going to end with one poem from the Me Too section, and it is titled Extension of Him. And it was written on November 21st, which is the 1929 birthday of feminist writer Marilyn French. So there you go. This is titled Extension of Him. When I got married, I thought about my having to take my husband's last name and use it as my own, destroying my own history and now calling myself an extension of him. Well, I don't know if I really thought that. But after I almost lost my own life and still spent my time trying to piece together who I was, I asked him, since the literary world knew me with my family name, the name of my father, born in 1929, if he was okay with me not changing my name. He was fine with it, of course. But looking back, it makes me think of the many ways women have had to change who they are to be a supplicant to man. And, of course, if we women want to have a career, that's fine. But many men still think that women should also cook and clean, and not only birth, but also raise their kids. So much for us women feeling we can do it all on our own, when we are still expected to do more work for less pay and be happy with the opportunities in this patriarchal society. For the oppression of women is the underlying current in any male-dominated culture. Wait, who am I kidding? It's the underlying current in any culture. Let's not fool ourselves. Because I know that for years I worked as an acquaintance rape workshop facilitator, which made me a counselor and a sounding board for more women than I can remember, since 1 in 4 women are sexually assaulted by the time they leave college, and make that number 1 in 3 women over the course of their lives. Women like your sister, your mother, your daughter, just to name a few. But in our society, all women have been raped when men rape women with their eyes, their laws, and their codes. Because women have been denied inclusion in society, we have been denied our history, which denies us our present and even our real future. We can carefully chronicle this history of oppression with seclusion and exclusion, and we can praise the strides we've made despite these man-made barricades that permeate every aspect of our female lives, while remembering the strides we still must make against all odds. Because we're strong creatures, you know. Smiling demurely when we take care of others, all while getting ahead ourselves. It's a tough job, but we've known that all along, and we're still taking it on. And we've taken it on without even batting an eyelash, with or without makeup. And whether or not we're reminded regularly of how we fight against, of all we fight against in our battles to be good, we feel all the things men have historically imposed upon us, whether or not we're told all the obstacles we always permanently are burned into the backs of our brains. All of these obstacles are always permanently burned in the backs of our brains, and we still seem to do well despite these pains you men ingrain in us. So, just realize that if you ever notice how well any woman is done, know that everything was accomplished despite the big bully in the room always breathing over her shoulder. For all that hot air breathed down my throats, breathed down by men, reminds us that we can and will defeat Goliath. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was your third installment of book readings, as I would do 3, sometimes 4 in a 1 to 3 p.m. reading for community poetry. I am looking at the time. We might have time for one more reading before 3 p.m. I hope everyone is remaining safe. I hope everyone is remaining poetically inclined. I hope if you want to check anything out, you can always check out these books like Roll the Bones, right here. You can get it at Amazon through the United States, or actually anywhere around the world. It's kind of blowing my mind how many people are able to get this from so many different countries. And you can also see links to it at scars.tv online. I hope everyone stays safe, and I will be talking to all of you very, very soon. Thank you all very, very much.